You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the June 14th meeting of the LaPorte County Drainage Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Joe Cuson?
Here.
Hugh Glasgow?
Here.
Sarah Hefner said she was coming. Tony Hendricks? Here. Rich Mrozinski?
Present.
Steve Mrozinski?
Here.
Brad is here, is going to join us later on Zoom.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve last month's minutes?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Do I have a motion and a second? Is there any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Parks Department.
Now you guys got the email I sent to you, right? With what he is asking for? Okay.
Yeah, so, and I didn't know, are the DNR people on the Zoom?
Yeah.
Or they were going to be present on that?
Mr. Baldwin?
Yeah. Yeah, so,
He's here.
yeah, so, I mean, I can let them, I don't know how much you want to know or need to know. I can let them kind of give you a background of how this came about and all that if you'd like, and then, you know, and answer any questions or anything like that, but, so. Brad is, can you guys all hear him if Brad Baldwin is able to talk on there? Or?
Can you hear us, Brad?
It is a little choppy. It's kind of coming in and out.
Okay.
Some of it.
Well, I can kind of give a background.
You want to sum it up?
Yeah. So essentially, the DNR was looking for wetland mitigation sites to do work with willing partners, I guess, and they had contacted me about potential properties or work on our property that might fit into wetland mitigation work through a swamp project. And I showed them some land and showed them our park, and they came up with that concept that Christine sent to you guys. Basically, it would be acquiring some land next to the park, and you know, and it spells it out. Basically, working on the creek, rerouting the ditch, and part of that is regulated drain, and putting it back into its natural flow more, and working on the wetland, restoring the wetland that's on that property next to us. And then a lot of the stream work would be on our property that we already own, but then some of it's on their land as well, or on the neighboring land, which would be purchased with this project. So
If I could also jump in, we're the Indiana Stream and Wetland Mitigation Program. So we're an in-lieu fee mitigation program where permittees that impact aquatic resources, where the Corps of Engineers or Department of Environmental Management require mitigation. They purchase credits from us, and LaPorte County is within our Kankakee service area, and so we've been with KCI. Brad Sugar is also on the Zoom call here with KCI. He's been working with us in the Kankakee service area to try to find a conservation partner. And we found an excellent one in LaPorte County Parks, Jeremy. We say mitigation, but really what we're doing on the ground is aquatic resource and habitat restoration. We're held to a really high standard, and we seek out conservation partners to manage the restoration projects in perpetuity, but once we restore it, we monitor it and maintain it for a period of about 10 years. So there's no responsibility on our conservation partner for the success of the project. It's all on us. And at the end of that monitoring period, we also provide a long-term management fund so that our conservation partner can maintain things such as invasive species and so forth, and it never be on their dollar. So it's really a win-win to find a great local partner that shows us what the local watershed needs are. And we have a great consulting firm with a lot of experience here in KCI. They've done just a ton of great stream restoration work all over the country, to include Indiana, and wet restoration work. And then what's also great about Bloom County Park there is the willing seller, the adjacent property owner. We met with him. He's excited about the restoration work and is willing to sell a portion of his property to us, actually to LaPorte County, but with us bringing the funds to the table to purchase that property. So.
Yeah, and
we're held to a really high standard as well, so the restoration work will be very high quality, with physical and biological integrity. That's kind of where we're at.
Christie, we noticed a regulated ditch. Is it assessed?
It is not. It is a regulated drain. It's the right arm of the Forbes ditch, but it does not have an assessment on it. So that's why I thought it
Yeah, I
would
think it'd be a great deal.
a good deal, a good idea just to vacate it from their property line going north, because they're the headwater, and then they can just have complete control over it, and then they won't have to.
And it's the same
Past
landowner now all the way around. All the
Yeah.
property around us is owned by one person, and he's the one that would be selling us this land, and you know, he's in agreement that, I mean, you know.
So yeah, I think it'd be a win all the way around if we can go through the vacation process for the drain, and then just let them. But I've already briefed Brad on the process, so we can just work with you on what we need to do next. If you guys want to give us the motion.
Motion to
If you want to do the
accept
the drain.
vacating of the drain.
Yeah, motion to start the process, public hearings to vacate the Forbes ditch drain.
Correct.
I'll
Do we have a
second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion on that? Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's passed.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you very much. We're very excited. It'll be a great project. Again, part of that is a long-term management plan that we developed in cooperation with Jeremy and LaPorte County Park. So it will be maintained in perpetuity and be a really nice setting and ecological uplift for your community. So
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
thank you very much. Have a great day. Thanks.
You
Thanks,
too.
Jeremy.
All right, we'll move on. The White Ditch, Michiana Shores.
This is a petition that the board granted a reduction in the easement at the White Ditch for a potential pool. And so there's new owners and they didn't build a pool, but our position has always been we don't want to encroach upon easements in any way, and the White Ditch is really high up on the priority list because usually you can only service it on one side. Now, and it's not these owners, but the previous owner started the pool with permission to encroach upon our easement, but I guess in short words, it was a disastrous mess. DNR has been called, the town people have not been happy. It's something we don't, and the board typically has not given, so the new owners are back here to request the same granting of the reduction of the easement, and surveyor's offices and drainage board offices still. It's not something we ever want to do, and this one, and it has no bearing on the new owners, but this one turned into a disastrous mess for Michiana Shores, and the DNR had been out at the property, so I guess we'll let them come to the podium and.
Well, this isn't those people.
Oh.
We have two separate pool issues. So what Tony's talking about right now is at 3915 Hiawatha Drive in Michiana Shores, and that was an owner that requested and began the process of trying to put the pool in the 75-foot easement next to the ditch. and like he said, it turned into a mess. He's since sold the property. The new owners have come into my office and were supposed to be here last month. They didn't show up. They wanted to get put on the agenda for this month. They're not here. So they're not here. So I don't know if you want to table it again.
Motion to table it again.
Yeah, I think we need to table it.
But
till next
everything
month.
he said is true. I mean, it's the what transpired in the past. So, but we can table that particular one. The people that are here today, they came in late on my agenda, so we can either have them come before us now or wait until public comment.
Okay. So we want to table this then till next meeting?
The Michiana Shores thing, yeah, because they're not here, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they're withdrawing it. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from them.
Motion to table.
Yep. We have a motion to table. And we have a second. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, so we'll table it to the next meeting.
And the other one she's talking about at Woods of Concord. I showed you pictures, and we have pictures from what's happened out there. This lot is a lot right at 525 in Woods of Concord. This lot is the drainage area for the whole first phase that comes down to this area. And I'll be frank with the board, I found out about this yesterday a little before. And if this meeting was this morning, I would have already issued a 10-day notice because they completely wiped out everything in this retention pond. There is nothing left. It is unstabilized, it is dirt, there are tree stumps. I showed you pictures of what it looked like before. Again, just like the last petition, we don't want anyone to encroach upon our easements. And I guess I'll reiterate, and I talked to Brad Adamski, and he might be on here by now, that I would have already issued a 10-day notice to put this, stabilize this back, cut them trees down, stumps below grade, revegetate this, and I guess plead ignorance to the board that the owners completely wiped out this retention pond. And this is a very high-profile place. I can't ask them to put the trees and the bushes back, but we can ask them to revegetate and get the grass growing because this is the only retention pond there. And this was all designed to handle the storm water for this whole phase, and actually a little more than this phase. So I guess we'll let the owner speak, but if this wasn't this meeting this morning, I would already issue a 10-day notice to put this back, or we will put it back and we will charge the owners for the
It takes
things
the
done.
stormwater from the adjacent farm field, doesn't it?
It takes everything from this whole area, and there's no outlet. This is a pretty big pond. I know it looks big and it's deep, but it handles a lot of water.
Okay. You want to go ahead and speak?
Some more photographs of what's been done.
And just say your name and your address and everything.
My name is Freddie Castro. The address is 5229 West Concord Drive, LaPorte, Indiana. In August 2020, we purchased a home at Woods of Concord. Our parcel of land is highlighted in blue on the following page. You'll find a few more details, including square footage and septic. The majority of our property was overgrown and unsightly. For example, neighborhood dogs were walked to our yard on a daily basis to go to the bathroom. Fecal matter was left behind in the so-called pond area. We also witnessed full garbage bags being thrown into the area of our yard. Neighbors have told us this yard was used for a neighborhood burn pile. Fast forward to this past April, we had funds to improve the area of our yard. The county recorder office said that there was no restrictions or covenants that would prevent us to put a pool, get a pool permit. In the process of having this land cleared, our tree removal service noticed the drain and see attached photos. Our intentions are to remove all the stumps. We just stopped at a certain point because we wanted to see what was going on, why this water was coming onto our land. You can see there's no water in there. And due to our septic tank being right behind our house and the way the drain field is set up, we're not able to put a pool back there. So we'd have to move the drain field, but we wouldn't have a place to move the drain field to, because our lot would be classified too small. When we purchased the lot, it said we had 0.7 acres. By removing this, it cuts our lot to practically nothing.
How long has that been there?
That's a late date on that plat on the right-hand side.
1994.
So the pond does look big, but it is sized for the water that comes there. It is sandy soil. I'm sorry that the recorder told you that there was no restrictions. This has been on there since, I presume you should have been told this at the closing of your home, that lot is a retention pond. And I guess you can plead ignorance, but you would have at least called the drainage board, either Christie or I, to say, I'm going to go in there and wipe out everything in that whole pond. I mean, it's quite upsetting that this has happened. This is a very high profile area. Again, I'll say it again for the third time. If this meeting was this morning, I would have issued a 10-day notice letter. Our attorney would have issued a 10-day notice letter to put that back and then come to this board. And if you would potentially come back to this board, depends on the board, I'm not a voting member. If you would come back to this board, you would have to hire a professional to tell us why this pond doesn't need to be there. Because this was approved through the county, through the planning commission, through the county engineer, the size of this pond, the location of this pond, and it needs to be right where it is. We go through this lots of times. Commissioners see this, the planning commission sees this. People don't understand that they're ponds and ditches, and they fill them in, and then we bear the brunt that somebody's getting flooded. And that's what this pond is for.
We actually had complaints at least 2 weeks ago or further from neighbors downstream that said they're concerned about what's going on, so we're going to get flooded out. And there's some nice homes out there. They're very concerned about it. I said, I'll keep an eye out for when it comes our way, either here, Plan Commission, or whatever. Yeah, we don't want that.
So the boards that can vote and do what they want, but I would ask for the motion to issue them a 10-day notice letter to return this back to stabilized condition and take those trees down. And then they could proceed and debate on what they'd like to do going forward.
So
It cannot stay like this.
So moved.
We have no intention of staying like this. We're already going to have landscapers remove all the stumps, and we were going to plant grass in there and clean it up.
A 10-day notice just makes you do that in 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
You have 10 days.
Second. So we have a motion and a second to have them restore this within the 10-day period?
Yeah, so moved. Second here.
So we have a motion and a second, yes. Is there any more discussion or questions about this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's passed.
And then if you'd like to come back to this board,
Then
you need to hire a professional to bring us the evidence about why this pond is not needed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they should. Monthly reports, we'll start with Hudson Lake.
Georgette Joyce, 7299 East Hudson Point Lane, New Carlisle. So the lake's been looking pretty good. We had a lot of water, and obviously the drain had to be open to relieve some of that. I've been working with the DNR related to dredging permits, because we didn't get the one that we applied for last year, and still waiting for him to get on. And we've also contacted and had out one contractor to price that out, and have two more hopefully to get out, so we're better prepared when we go to request. So we're looking to dredge the channel and potentially buy the public ramp. So
That's the boat channel on the north side?
the south side. The north side is in good shape. It's the south side one that, when they did the study, they identified areas, and that was the one that was, it's not wide enough and not deep enough. So it's just, trying to keep up with everybody, and it's tough with construction and availability of people. So That's our challenge. Christine, I don't know, because I did reach out to David Nance again about the drain management, and I know he's doing 2 jobs, so it's rough, but he hadn't gotten back with anything. I'm assuming he had not with you.
I have not talked to him either.
Okay.
Other than just the last time we opened it for a little bit and then I closed it, and that was probably the last time. And I copy you guys on the emails, and you and Dave. So
Yeah.
that was probably the last time I've heard from him.
Well, I reached out to him yesterday, but obviously it's...
Yeah.
And then one last thing, we did ask for Lakeshore Drive to be regraded because there's some spots that were a little, so that's now in the hands of the road group. And I didn't find, I just asked Roger, he said they didn't come out and do it, so I followed up yesterday and we'll see.
Okay. Is the drain closed all the way now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. And then maybe the county, make sure that they regrade that Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, yeah.
If you could ask them to make sure they keep up on that. Okay. Brad Adamski, is he on?
I don't think so.
He had a meeting at 8:30. He was gonna try to hop on when it got done.
Well, we can skip and come back to him if he gets on.
Yeah. Oh, you're...
Tony Hendricks?
I don't have any report.
No report. Joint board reports? Any joint board reports?
No.
Claims?
No claims.
All right, no claims. Public comment? Any public comment?
For Michiana Shores, just to say that we requested that Nick will pull out some debris that's in the eastern section of our ditch between Bohagan and the Michigan line, but I'm not sure that he ever got to it yet. But we asked him several times, and a few weeks ago I asked Christine to actually push him a little bit. But that's it, thank you.
All right, thank you. No other public comments?
Supposedly somebody is on their way. I'm not sure who it is, but you know, the meeting starts at 8:30, so you can't get here then, I don't know.
Okay. Brad's not on yet?
I don't think,
He must be delayed.
yeah,
Must
he
be
was in
delayed.
another meeting.
All right, seeing there's no other items from the agenda, the next meeting is July 12th at 8:30. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn, meeting is adjourned.